Hello, and welcome to CheesyReviews.
Woo!
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Sid, for just, screaming.
Anytime.
Alright, so we are here today to review Tron Legacy. So, just starting off, I guess that's our mutual feeling. It was definitely a meh kind of movie. I don't know, I felt like the entire time I wasn't really feeling it at all. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, going into this movie, I was excited. Not because it was a sequel to the original Tron from 1982, and a lot of people love that movie, even though I didn't see it. I was excited because of one thing and one thing only.
What was that?
Daft Punk was making the music for Tron Legacy. Daft Punk, harder, better, faster, okay, you get the point.
Okay, yeah, anyway, in case you didn't know, we'll link to Sid's reaction of the Tron Legacy soundtrack somewhere on the screen. Anyway, so let's just continue on. This movie and, okay, so this movie opens up, and initially this character I was like, do they get, hire fucking Batman? Like, he's, skydiving off of buildings and shit?
He's jumping off of ramps.
It made no sense. I just didn't see the point in him being this kind of Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. And I kind of got that badass-y. They tried to make that. They were like Batman is what I mean.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It was it was so confusing, and the hacking thing, and it was the product placement of that Nokia phone. It was so stupid and...
I didn't mind all that, but the one thing I cringed at was when he was opening the door and he said, "That's a big door," and I'm like, "Oh man!" I think that set the tone for the rest of the jokes in the movie because
which was the big door part again?
Remember that part when he opens the door to the building? He's like, "Wow, that's a big door." And then that pretty much set the tone for the script.
Yeah, There's one thing that I kind of was a little confusing, and I don't know if this is because I didn't see the first one, and I don't think it is because I've heard about the first one and I've read a lot of summaries, but tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. The ISOs in the movie, which this isn't a very spoiler because I let you know early on, but it's these creatures when Kevin Flynn, who's Jeff Bridges, creates the Tron world. These forms, these smart life forms, are created within this world, and it's kind of like a play on natural selection, kind of playing into the digital world. And I was like, okay, but it was kind of really confusing. I didn't really get it, and they were kind of talking about it the entire time, and I was really confused. It was kind of like I felt like. If I'm playing Little Big Planet on my PS3, oh shit, these alien life forms just got created, we just discovered everything, and that's kind of what it is. Or The Sims, the Sims can think on their own, they're gonna take over the world, and I was just like, what? I don't know.
I don't know, that went way over my head. And that's not what I was focusing on in this movie.
I don't know, yeah, it was a little too, in terms of, smart. Dare I call myself dumb, but I don't know. It was a little too complex for an idea.
You can't understand complicated computer programs?
Oh, I know, but especially because and they made this movie so that if you didn't see the first one, you can see this. You can't understand it well enough.
Although from what I hear, they did make a lot of nods to the original.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Also please the fans of the first movie.
In the beginning, there are a couple of characters. Initially, there's this son who was the son of a villain from the last movie. He's in it. I didn't get that, but I found that out later on. But going into this movie, let's talk about the special effects, because that's obviously a very big part of
this is the part where we disagree with the most. I'd say so, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, sort of. I just want to say, first off, in comparison to Avatar effects, I don't think it's fair to compare them, only because Avatar they created an ecosystem and, a jungle planet, and this is supposed to be a computerized world, so...
Are people actually comparing this to Avatar?
Yeah, people are comparing, Tron's so much better. Okay, here's my... my opinion on the Tron effects. I saw it in 3D, which, by the way, I did not like it in 3D.
I saw it in 3D. I thought it was okay.
It was okay. I think I would have liked it, though, in 2D, just the same, maybe a little better.
I'm gonna say this right now for the future. I don't like 3D, and if there are any movie producers out there who are listening to this, and I know you all are, please stop with the 3D. It's getting really irritating. I mean, it was cute at first, and then it just sort of lost its novelty. So please, for the love of God, stop making movies. Stop forcing us to watch movies in 3D. Okay, continue.
Okay, anyway. Oh my god, I lost my place. Oh yes, the special effects. Okay, so there are some really cool scenes. I feel like when he first gets into the Tron world,
that was pretty bad.
There's this whole the bike scene, and there's the fight with the discs, and it was really, really, really cool. And I felt like that specifically, I could have watched without the 3D. I don't know, it was a little weird.
Oh, no, you're right.
And then they get into this. They go to the outside of the Tron world, and I kind of felt like it was just computerized rocks. That was literally what they were showing, and it kind of lost me. It kind of lost me on that.
No, that's where it lost a lot of people in the movie, because it went from the super fast kung fu whatever action scene, maybe not kung fu, but it was still this really cool action scene with this great. And then it just sort of stopped.
The killer frisbees.
Yeah, the killer frisbees is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, they were.
And they're called discs, by the way.
Oh,
they're called discs.
Excuse me. I don't want to be racist.
You don't want to.
Discs. Politically correct term is disc. I'm sorry. I apologize.
But the reason they stopped was because they pretty much they put the brakes on the action to explain what was happening with Jeff Bridges.
Exactly. And to explain what was happening in general for people that hadn't seen the first movie, I think.
Right. No, it wasn't really so much. They didn't really make any reference to the first movie because it happened after the first movie.
Yeah, that's true. They were just explaining, I guess, the entire world and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done a better job about that. They could have done it in bits instead of doing it in one huge giant gap.
The pacing of that was just like, And then, I don't know about you, but I felt like when you find out what the plot of the movie is and the villain's motive, I kind of felt a little cliche. Kind of spoiler alert, but
okay,
it won't ruin the movie if I tell you this. I won't tell you the very, very ending, but the villain's plan is that he figures if the main character, Sam, can get into the virtual world, that his name is Clue, he's this, copy of Kevin Flynn, who's Jeff Bridges, can get into the real world, and he'll take this virtual army into the real world, and he wants to invade Earth.
The reason he wants to invade Earth is because he wants to try and make a perfect world.
Yeah,
he's designed to make a perfect world, and he tries to do that in the virtual world,
yeah.
and he also wants to go into the real world and make a perfect world. Yeah. And, as Jeff Bridges said, what's more imperfect than our world, and yada, 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 all that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know, I kind of felt like that was a little bit cliche. When I think about it, let's take over the world, let's invade the Earth, I was just like,
Well, you said you liked the Avatar story, right? You liked the Avatar story?
Well, I mean, no.
Well, I mean, because you said you liked it at first. Why is this different than Avatar? If it's cliche, and it is cliche, but why did you like Avatar's better than Tron?
Let's not get an Avatar. The reason I liked Avatar better is I liked the whole ecosystem and the whole creation of the world. Okay, I'll agree that the plot wasn't juicy, but anyway, so let's get back to Tron. I don't know. Personally, it felt cliche with the video games and let's take over the world, and I was just there was the awkward club scene where there's
hold on,
it was kind of, and I loved it and I hated it. I loved it because I was like, yes, Daft Punk, they're the DJ.
Yeah,
movie.
Daft Punk, they were the best actors in the movie, by the way.
They were. That was my screen, by the way, not Sid. And, it was cool, and there was this really awkward, strange character who was supposed to be comic relief, and I'm like, no, you're kind of just really flaming and creepy. And
you're a weird David Bowie.
Really, I was just like, I was really turned off, and then there were these characters oh, and then, one of the only black characters is killed instantly, which I noticed that the lack of black people in this movie.
So that's what happened.
I don't know. I kind of felt like, maybe they could have had the female lead as someone that's not white. The female lead was actually
pretty hot.
Yeah, she was very hot. I liked her character, and I liked her. She was whatever. I don't want to spoil anything. She was a great character. She was interesting. I'm glad. Something they don't do. I was really worried about the entire movie. They hinted at romance, and I was like, I better watch it. You've only known each other for 8 hours. I don't want to see no kisses at the fucking end.
They didn't hint at romance. I kind of, but it's pretty obvious at the end.
I mean, they look at each other, certain ways. And I was like, what are you doing right now? You need to stop it. We've only been in this movie for an hour. What the fuck are you doing?
Plus, one of you ain't even real, so this isn't gonna work out.
Yeah. I don't know. It was kind of weird, and then, Jeff Bridges kind of turns into this Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I feel like overall, I was just disappointed with the movie. I felt like they worked it up really cool. It was, travel into video games is something everyone's going to want to do. It was kind of like a cooler version of Code Lyoko in a way, the traveling into the virtual world thing. And I was really expecting a lot because this is a $170 million budget. I want to see some good stuff.
Disney.
I don't know. I was just disappointed. Maybe I need to watch the first one, and I definitely do want to watch. I read a lot of the summaries, and that tied up some things for me. But I felt like it didn't satisfy something that left me wanting more, and wanting more in a bad way. Like, they didn't fulfill enough in the entire movie.
Well, what did you think of the acting in the movie? That's something I don't feel like we touched upon.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of meh, leaning towards a good way. The acting was pretty cool, but I feel like it was a lot of failure in the character. Sam's character, the badass was, over cliched, I felt. Yeah. And, just...
They could have fleshed him out.
He didn't have
more.
any flaws. I felt,
Yeah, I can see that.
And and I thought it wouldn't, but in comparison to Avatar, the guy was in a wheelchair, and I don't know.
I don't really know where you're going with that.
Changed, but he had a big flaw.
All right, let's get off of Avatar. I think we've been on that too long.
But I don't know. It was just, and the girl was really good. Jeff Bridges was just way too Obi-Wan for me. I was like, okay, you need to before this Master Yoda appears, we need to tone it down right now.
Did you ever see The Big Lebowski?
No, I didn't.
He keeps switching between his character and The Big Lebowski, the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's like, I don't really know what they were going for there.
Yeah. But definitely compliments the movie. In terms of the soundtrack, for people who are like, oh, I was disappointed with Daft Punk, this was a soundtrack movie.
I'm gonna let me handle this right now.
Okay, wait,
okay.
No, let me finish my point.
Okay.
This was a soundtrack. This is not a dance club album which is obviously what they're known for. They had a good few mixes, but I feel like it's not fair to compare the Tron Legacy soundtrack to like their other work. Like, you know what I mean? Because this is first and foremost a soundtrack, and they definitely had some, awesome, like Derez was a great beat, and there was a scene where they use a lot of those, but I don't know. And then, there was this one scene where I felt like it was just put there to use the Daft Punk songs, those club beats, and I don't know, it's turned on.
Well, you hit everything that I was going to say. And, as the bigger Daft Punk fan, I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to say any of it. But some of the best scenes were just Daft Punk playing. I will disagree with you there. I thought that was some of the best stuff.
You know what? And it was, but I kind of felt like they just placed it there for sake.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It was just so.
I'd say that this soundtrack. I give the soundtrack 10 out of 10. I loved it. And I give the movie. What would you give the movie?
Really good. The movie. I think at a grade scale, on a letter grade scale, I think I'd give this movie a C minus or a C. Minus C.
For me, it was ranging there, but because of the music, I would easily give this movie a C plus B minus.
Okay, so average out to like a C or C plus.
About a little slightly above average.
Yeah,
slightly above average movie.
I don't know. I think maybe for me it was average. Like it's like slightly above, like the 0.0001 above average.
If you're gonna see the movie, see it once, and if you don't like it, don't see it again because there's nothing more to it. If you do like it, rent it. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't see myself buying the DVD.
Nah, not really. I got the soundtrack. That's all I need.
And and one quick note before we end, I kind of felt like the movie could only work in a movie theater. I don't know why. I feel like I couldn't watch this movie on my laptop. I feel I wouldn't get the same thing out of it. And it's kind of like that with Avatar. You like it if you're a fan of Avatar. You like it, but it's not the same thing when you watch it on your computer.
You need that.
It's a whole different experience.
That's something that's meant for like Blu-ray or 3D TV or whatever.
Obviously, the good 3D TVs won't be out for a while.
Yeah.
So, you have a bit to wait. But yeah, so that was our cheesy review.
Cheesy reviews.
Tron Legacy, and we hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.
Play us out, Daft Punk.
Okay, bye.